I'm Jarrett Carpenter, and this is Future Signal. Welcome to the messy room that this is, so we can talk about what will happen if Bitcoin goes into a recession. Not if Bitcoin goes into a recession. As the globe goes into a recession, what will happen to Bitcoin? This is something that I've been thinking about for a couple months now as I've been working on my own personal DCA strategy. I've been changing that up, but I do want to talk about that today. And to talk about this, I want to look at 3 historical events. And before we do, I want to just say Bitcoin price is either going to go up, it's going to stay the same, it's going to go down. Why is this important? Well, it's important if you're a holder. It's important if you're trying to get in. You want to get a good price point. And I also just think Bitcoin price is a constant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 66 on a leap year. It tells you where Bitcoin adoption is. It tells you if more money is coming in than is coming out, if more money is coming out than is coming in, or if that money is about the same and maybe the price is kind of staying the same. It's consolidating either to move up or to move down. So the thing that everyone's interested in, and I hope to get through this in the next 5 minutes, I want to keep this to 5 minutes, is what will happen if a recession hits? What will happen to Bitcoin? What will the price do? So let's look at 3 historical events. The first one is the 2008-2009 crisis. Now, we didn't have Bitcoin to look at then, as Bitcoin was still an email from Satoshi. It was just basically that 9-page white paper that's, floating out there, right? That maybe some of us have read. It is just an idea at that point, so we can't really look at that. But let's focus on gold. Gold in the 2008-2009 financial crisis, if you look back and you look month over month, yes, it dips a little bit, but overall, it became a flight to safety. It became a place where retail investors and institution, money managers, whoever it was, they took and they sold equities and they sold stocks. And they basically put it into commodities. They put it into gold and silver, but gold specifically. So in that moment, when there was fear in the markets, people went to gold. Let's fast forward to 2020 with the pandemic. Now, the pandemic really kind of set in globally finally around March 15th, 2020. When that happened, that's kind of when the US shut down. When that happened, stock market went bad, right? And as the stock market went bad, gold started to do well. But more importantly, now we can talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin at this point fell off a little bit, but then it recovered. And we know over the next 19 months, it went from somewhere under, 8,000 all the way up to 69,000 in about 19 months, which was really quite crazy. So there you could say, okay, maybe it was a flight to safety. Now, I know you'll say, yes, but this was right around the halving, and it had the whole halving year, and then it was timing the cycle, and then all his money was printed, right? Trillions of dollars were printed by the Fed. Stimmy checks were given out. Yes. But there we could say, if we look back from 20 years to there, we'd say, wow, I think Bitcoin was kind of a flight to safety for some people who were maybe selling stocks in March and putting it into Bitcoin, and then it definitely worked out for them. If you had gotten Bitcoin at $5,000, $6,000 in March of 2020 and you're still holding, you are doing very, very well. So now here we are in 2025. Much of the recession is both macro factors and it's also man-made, because I think the tariffs that are being put out by the current administration, everyone can see they're having a negative effect on the overall global market. Just in the last week, I think $7 trillion has come out of the overall market. And if it's not $7 trillion, maybe less than that in trillions. But since his administration has started, due to some of the uncertainty, due to tariffs, the global trade impact by tariffs, it's like $7 trillion has kind of come out of the market. So we're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars that have come out of the market. And in that same time, we've seen a lot of stocks, a lot of indexes, a lot of equities go down. And Bitcoin right now, at the time of recording this, is around 79,500. Yesterday, it was around 84,000. And I was feeling a little bit better. Wow, it's still in the 80s. I'm not sure how low Bitcoin is going to go. But the beautiful, beautiful thing, and probably to get back to what's going to happen if a recession hits, it doesn't truly matter if you're long Bitcoin. Now, if you're trying to make a quick buck, that's a little bit different. But if you're long Bitcoin, as the price goes down, you're just going to get lower and lower entries. And now I'm going to share with you what I think is going to happen, and this is not financial advice, okay? I think Bitcoin is going to go down somewhere to 60 to 65,000 over the next 3 months. And I think what's going to happen is the new administration is going to maybe get its, what I've heard, supposed goal of driving employment up. So that way they can start to hopefully drive rates down. And if they're able to drive rates down, there will be printing. We will see a printing spree if rates are able to come down, probably over the next 6 to 8 months, if the economy gets really, really bad. So it's like, let's crash the economy so we can drive rates down. If that does happen, there will be some printing. And I think this bull run cycle that we're supposed to be in, right? 2025 is supposed to be a bull year, I think may just be pushed back 6 to 8 months. We're coming up on April 19th, will be the year out from the Bitcoin halving. And normally, when you're a year out from the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin is ripping. I think that that is currently stunted by the tariffs, but I think that that is going to be short lived. And right now, those are going to get shooken out and sell their Bitcoin. If you have to sell your Bitcoin, you got to sell your Bitcoin. Hopefully, you're doing it in profit. But if you can hold on to it, I think that that's going to be a good thing. I'm seeing a quarter 3 and quarter 4 this year going much better, even maybe even to quarter 1 of next year, as I feel like this bull cycle is kind of pushed back. But let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very, very interested to hear what people think. This is something that has been on my mind for months since Trump came in. There was all this excitement in November after he won, and you saw the price rip. We cracked 100. In January, you saw it hit 109. But since he's come in, he's sowed a lot of uncertainty. His administration has sowed a lot of uncertainty. And that has shaken the market. And now with the tariffs going all, globally wide tariffs, which I don't think are going to last longer than a month, it has totally dampened the market, and we'll see. But as the market has gone down, my question then is, will Bitcoin, if it does go down, will it go down in lockstep at a percent basis lower than maybe other index funds and other equities? Only time will tell. I think so, because I think a lot of people are going to see these lower Bitcoin prices and they're going to want to get in. So it may be that flight to safety, but hold on. Also, please leave a comment what you think is going to happen. Very interested to know. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're listening to this on a podcast platform, please go ahead and subscribe, and make sure you're following us on socials at Future Signal Pod. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.